Thank you for choosing to participate in your community with your Youth Justice Committee. Hi, I'm Bob Nicholson. This video is meant to help you understand how the committees work and to show you some interview procedures you can use as committee members to help you fulfill your mandate. Youth Justice Committees were established under Section 18 of the Youth Criminal Justice Act. They've been set up across Canada. The committees are based on the belief that people within their own communities have both a right and a responsibility to participate in youth justice.
Youth Justice Committees provide an opportunity for people to become involved in and enhance the youth justice system and really make a difference in the lives of young people by providing a meaningful alternative. It's about community neighbors helping kids to make amends and get back on track.
Youth Justice Committees help reduce stress on the courts and on the kids. Of all the young people across Alberta who participate in the program, 90% complete it successfully, and 3 years later, 80% have not been charged again. As a Youth Justice Committee member, your primary responsibility is to listen and to help determine, with other interested parties, the conditions of an agreement the young person must fulfill to make up for an offense he or she has committed.
One time, my friend and I, we were playing Truth or Dare, and he dared me to steal this kid's bike. I didn't want to at first, but he kept on bugging me until I finally said yes. And so when I did steal the bike, I looked around and I didn't see anybody, but I guess somebody saw me and they phoned the police.
A young person is eligible for the program if they commit a less serious crime, if they accept responsibility, and if they agree to participate. A referral to a Youth Justice Committee can come from a police officer as a pre-charge referral or from the court as a post-charge referral. Once a committee receives a file, members review the police report and contact the parties involved to let them know about the program, to gather information, and to set up an interview. When making the phone calls, remember to be a good listener. If necessary, allow the victim to vent.
Hi there, can I speak to
If
Pam?
they know someone is listening, they're more
Hi,
likely
Pam.
to
It's
share
Pam
their
from
feelings
Youth
and
Justice
get
Committee.
involved
How
in
are
the
you?
process.
I'm really,
And always remember to take notes during your
Be
conversations
there
so
on
you can
Thursday?
share the information with your fellow committee members
Perfect.
and include it in your
Yeah.
case
And,
file.
I just wanted to...
You know, when it first happened, I was really mad. I worked hard to save the money for that bike, and then someone just came along and took it. When I found out that he got caught, I felt a bit better. It must have been scary to have the cops show up at his door. I mean, I would have been nervous.
Committee meetings usually take place right here in the community. Now, sometimes victims won't want to attend meetings, or sometimes committee members themselves aren't comfortable with a face-to-face get-together. But it is important to get the victim's side of the story, to gather information about their feelings, because that helps you to show youth the consequences of their actions. Now, if at any time during the process you as a committee don't feel comfortable handling a certain file, send it back. Alternatively, if the youth won't take responsibility for their actions, suspend the meeting, send the case back to court. The process may seem overwhelming, but with experience, you'll be able to handle all types of scenarios. Once you've set up a meeting, you need to tell the other committee members about the phone calls you've made and the police report. The day of the meeting, try to create a comfortable environment. A roundtable discussion is preferred. Never meet with more than one offender at a time. Conduct yourself professionally and treat this serious situation with respect. And remember, this meeting is quasi-judicial, and it will have legal consequences for the youth. Once all the parties have arrived, the chairperson will introduce everyone present. The chair would then advise the parents that their child is the focus of the meeting, and it's preferable the child do the talking. At that point, the chair would ask the child if he or she understands the purpose of the meeting and explain the procedure. And it's important to say that the committee is made up of volunteers who live in the community.
All right, do you have any questions before we go further? Okay, I'm going to turn over to Pat now then.
Okay, Scott. Thanks, Tammy. We're going to start with you here. We'd like you to tell us what happened that day. Start at the beginning and try not to leave out any of the details.
Okay, me and my friend Ian, we were playing Truth or Dare, and he dared me to steal a kid's bike. I didn't want to at first, but I did anyway. So, and we looked around to see if anybody was watching us, but I didn't think anybody was. I guess somebody was, though, because they called the police.
If the youth is generally accepting of responsibility, don't let minor disagreements regarding the facts cloud the issue. After the youth has given his or her version of what's happened, the committee members can ask questions.
So where's the bike now, Scott?
I handed it over to Ian. I think he sold it, though.
So you don't know where the bike is for sure?
No.
Okay.
The parents will be asked questions about the home environment and school and what consequences have already been imposed by the parents on their child.
Have you noticed any changes in Scott at home?
Well, nothing out of the ordinary. You know, he's a typical teen. He can be moody and sullen sometimes, but basically it's going very smooth.
Have there been any consequences at home?
Oh, for sure. Scott was grounded and he's not allowed to associate with Ian anymore.
I think Scott's interview process went very well. He answered all of our questions quite positively. We usually try and ask open-ended questions like, how do you feel? What do you think? Usually gets a better response from the kids. The last thing we want to do is make the youth or the parents feel like this is an interrogation process.
If you feel you're getting only a minimal response to your questions, move on to someone else and come back to the person later. That may help to open up the discussion. But remember, the chairperson must be in charge at all times. If any abuse happens, issue a warning. The meeting will be suspended and the case will be sent to court. And if it happens again, follow through. After the information gathering is complete, the chairperson can shift the focus by asking the accused what they think the agreement should be.
So Scott, what do you think should happen?
Me and Mom talked about it. We thought I should buy him a new bike.
What do you think about that?
I think it's a pretty good idea.
Once the possible consequences are discussed with all parties, you may feel you have an agreement in place, or you may need to excuse the parties for a moment to clarify items within the agreement. Don't get sidetracked on single issues. Keep your focus on the big picture. Once discussion is complete, the agreement is drawn up. It can include community service, written apologies, financial reimbursement, or any variation to fit the circumstances. It can be no longer than 3 months. It should have no more than 3 consequences, and those consequences should not be worse than a court-imposed sentence. Most importantly, the agreement should be tailor-made to the circumstances of the victim and the accused. Keep in mind, the young person may not be able to fully compensate the victim. It's your responsibility to work out realistic consequences. Remember, your goal is to set the youth up for success, not failure. Once the agreement has been determined and the paperwork is complete, it might help to have the youth confirm what they understand they're required to do.
Okay, and just a reminder that you do have 3 months to finish all of these consequences from today. On behalf of the committee, I wanted to say how happy we are with you for taking responsibility for your actions and willing to make restitution to your victim.
The interview session is now complete, and the chairperson can conclude the meeting with some positive comments about the youth, the committee process, and the community.
Bring back those 3 things that we had asked you to do, and we'll send it in and you'll be successful and you won't get a criminal record. And we wish all the best luck to you.
Thank you. I thought the committee was a really good thing. I'm glad I didn't have to go to court. I bought the kid a new bike with my own money and it made me feel really good.
Youth justice committees are playing a very significant role in your community. There are many benefits to the young people, their families, victims, the community, the youth justice system. By joining your youth justice committee, you've made a decision to make our justice system more effective and to make your community a better place to live. Youth justice committees. Community neighbors helping kids make amends and get back on track.